back to 504 Road Trips. Today is January 1st, 2022. Happy New Year. And today I'm going to try to get the old Saab back up and running. Been having issues with batteries in this car for the past 3 years or so. This is the second Duralast battery that I've had in this car. And the battery went dead. I put it on the charger and it tested bad, but it's been on the charger for about a month. The car hasn't been driven in 6 months, and I think that's probably why it went dead, but I don't know why it tested bad. So I'm going to put the battery in and try to start it up and drive it. It hasn't been driven in so long. The rotors are all rusted. A year ago, I found somebody that had the correct wheels for this car and put new wheels on it. Well, old new wheels. The wheels that came with the Viggen were made out of a very soft alloy, and with the low profile tires you hit the wrong bump and it will make the wheels not round anymore, and I was having a lot of trouble keeping the wheels in balance. And when I took it to a tire shop to check it out, they were so warped that they couldn't be balanced. So got new wheels, brand new tires. The tires that came with the car when we bought it 5 years ago were pretty old. In fact, they might have been original to the car, so I wasn't really trusting them anymore. So new wheels, new tires. Now we just got to get it running. The inspection sticker expired in September. So that's how long it's been. This thing's been sitting here. So let's put a battery in it and see if we can get it going. So this car needs quite a bit of work. Right now I just want to get it to where it's drivable. I've sprayed liquid wrench. This thing right here is what tightens the battery down, keeps it from moving around, and that bolt just doesn't want to turn. So when I took the battery out, I soaked it with liquid wrench and I just put more on it. This is a mess. I'd really like to get this cleaned up. I just don't have the time or place to do it. So I'm going to drop the battery in and hook it up and just see if I can at least get the car running. And then, like I said, it needs a lot of work. The oil hasn't been changed in 5 years, which is when we bought the car. And it was synthetic oil, and the car's been driven about 5,000 miles since then. So I think it's time, just for the sake of getting new oil in it. Doesn't get driven much, even when it's, even when it was on the road. It never goes more than 10, 15 miles from home. But I don't like to have oil that old in any car, so might have a video of that coming up at some point soon. Let's get the battery in and see what happens. It's amazing what that stuff will do. That bolt screwed right in and the battery is secure. It's not going to move around. We got it hooked up. I just don't like that messy white lithium grease that's all over everything. Try and find some way to clean that up. But one of the things that happens with this car is when you put the battery in after it's been completely out, the seat moves all the way forward. If you happen to be sitting in that seat, you get crushed against the steering wheel. And there's a problem with the memory. There's a problem with the memory presets on the seat. And I think one of them is stuck because one of them doesn't work. And so when the seat goes back, it does it like this. And I think that's the reason why it goes all the way forward when you put the battery in. And as you can see, the seat upholstery is shot. And we got a guy that can redo this upholstery. But what we don't want to lose is the Viggen logo, which is specific to this car. And it's kind of hard to get a hold of new seat covers that have that. But the guy that we talked to that does upholstery said he can save that part and just redo the rest in black leather. And so we'll have a new seat and still have the Viggen logo on it. So let's see if it'll start up and run. So let's see what happens when we start this thing up. Oh, that's good. So that's always a good sign when it starts up. And look, the date is even correct for once. Just have to put the correct time on it. I don't even know what time it is. That's about right. The outside temperature sensor doesn't work. It's something I've never really been able to figure out. The air conditioner, however, does work. Part of the display is out. There's a way to fix that, but once again, something I haven't really gotten to. Just turn that off for now. Put the windows down. The top doesn't go down because it blew a hydraulic line. So I'm not even going to mess with that. I'm going to let this thing warm up and take it for a ride. So surprisingly, after driving the car around for a couple of miles, everything works, including the air conditioning. The only issue that I really see with it mechanically is that the brakes are making a lot of noise. And, it's a different noise when I'm on or off the brakes. And I don't know whether that's from the rotors just being rusted over from sitting for so long. So I'm probably going to have to pull the wheels off and make sure I've at least got brake pad left. Maybe clean them up a little bit. But the brakes do stop the car, and the pedal's firm. No issues with that. This is still a nice driving car. Just need to get it cleaned up a little bit. It needs motor mounts. You can see how much the shift moves around when I come on and off the clutch, especially in like first gear from the stop. It's not supposed to move around that much. So motor mounts, transmission mounts, oil change for sure, and get the seats reupholstered. Get the need to get the hood and the trunk resprayed. The horizontal parts of the hood and the trunk are pretty well burned by the sun. The clear coat's gone. I don't know, I might get the whole car repainted. And the hydraulics for the top, that's all probably going to cost $10,000. It's an insane amount of money to keep this car up. So it's not something that's going to happen quick because I just don't have that kind of money to burn. I'm just going to drive it around through the neighborhoods a little bit more and see if everything continues to work right. But it's nice that the air conditioner still blows cold because I haven't serviced the air conditioner in a couple of years. is Terrytown, Louisiana. It's kind of the older section. The thing I noticed is this car doesn't really handle bumps well. And because of those soft alloy wheels, I got to be real careful with the, with hitting big bumps, because I really don't want to mess up another wheel, because they're really getting next to impossible to find. The ones that I have on here were shipped to me from a guy in New York whose father had a Viggen and had put aftermarket wheels on it and just put the wheels into storage. And they got rid of the car, so they still had the wheels, so he sold them to me. Then I bought new tires for it, which they were surprisingly not as expensive as I thought they would be, but they were like $150 a piece, which, as far as I'm concerned, is way too much to pay for a tire. But it's that's just what tires cost nowadays. Our library and our recreation center there. So anyway, I'm going to park this car again and probably not drive it again until I've done a little bit of work to it, at least get the oil changed and check out the brakes. It's raining. Look at that. New Year's Day and it's raining. And by the way, it's 81 degrees here on New Year's Day, which isn't super abnormal. It's not like it's the first time that's happened, but there's a cold front coming through tonight that is supposed to bring the temperatures down to like 39 degrees. And then it'll be back up in the 70s a couple of days later. But the house with a blue tarp covering the roof, that's probably still like that from Hurricane Ida, which was now 4 months ago, I guess. This area got hit pretty hard by Zeta last year and then Ida this year. And it's difficult finding roofers and contractors to come in and repair things right now because they're all overwhelmed. And because the damage from Ida was much worse in points west of New Orleans, all the contractors went there because that's where the big jobs are. So people around here aren't able to get them to come out and do the work. So anyway, I'm going to sign off. Happy New Year to everybody, and be sure to join us for our next 504 road trip.